All right, so I would like to invite to the stage our next speaker, Jessica Gioglio. She has been working on marketing programs for brands like TripAdvisor or Dunkin' Donuts and a few others. She's co-founding now a CLVR, a branding and growth marketing consultancy company, and she's going to be speaking about where should startups and scale-ups focus their marketing in 2020. So Jessica, come on the stage. Applause.
Thank you. Perfect. Hey everyone. I'm so excited to be back in Riga, my second time in Riga, first time at TechChill. And I'm super excited to be talking to you guys about marketing in 2020. The great thing about TechChill, starting at the beginning of the year, is we have a chance to reflect on the strategies we've put in place and just make sure we're covering off on all of our bases. So before I jump in, just a little bit about me. You've heard I've been in marketing for startups, scale-ups, and big companies. I was an early employee at TripAdvisor. I used to run global social for Dunkin' Donuts. I know a lot about tweeting about donuts and coffee, if you have any questions on that. I'm also the author of 2 books, I should say co-author, with Ekaterina Walter, The Power of Visual Storytelling and The Laws of Brand Storytelling. And I have an extra copy of our more recent book, The Laws of Brand Storytelling, with me. I'd like to give one away today. So if you want to message me on LinkedIn and tell me how you can learn about storytelling or how you want to apply it to your business or your role, I would love to give one away today. So please send me a message. But what we're really here to talk about today is where startups should focus their marketing efforts in 2020. And I've curated a list of tips with tons of case studies and examples, so let's jump in. So the first trend that I wanted to talk about is the blurred lines between marketing, sales, and IT. So something that I have experienced in my career is more and more is being expected of us as marketers. And the lines are starting to blur between our sales colleagues and our IT colleagues. So sales in the sense that marketers are increasingly being held accountable for revenue generation. So we are being asked to show how every single dollar that we spend or euro that we spend, is that actually driving ROI? What are we actually getting out of that? And then it becomes the question, who's accountable for that sales, marketing or the sales team? IT is also an area of blurred lines. We just heard a lot about marketing automation. How can we use technology solutions to drive efficiencies, drive scale, more efficiently target our customers? And marketing is increasingly owning the decision for the purchase stack there. So why does this matter? 2019 was a year of remarkable disruption in the CMO role. So this is a chart here from Spencer Stuart. They are a global recruitment agency. All of these companies had high-profile CMO departures and transitions in 2019. And some of these companies, like McDonald's, Taco Bell, Uber, and Lyft, they actually didn't replace their CMO role, which that's pretty crazy if you think about it. Some of the roles were changed into a chief growth officer role, and some were broken apart across growth marketing, across brand marketing, and marketing technology. Now here's the thing, is the CMO role going away? Absolutely not. I might be biased because I'm a marketer, but I actually think we just have to accept that as marketers, we're being tasked with more than ever before. And I pose the question, are we becoming these magical, mythical marketing unicorns? Because we are now tasked with brand building, with being these world-class creatives, owning data and customer insights, performance and revenue generation, automation, digital transformation, as well as, if not the most important, leadership and culture. That's a lot to put on any one person, but I think as well, especially if we're head of marketing or we're in a leadership role, we know we can't do everything under the sun. So the trend that's emerging is we are investing more in specialist skills. So some of you here are gonna be a marketing team of one, right? I have been a marketing team of one. That is not easy, but research from the Altimeter Group shows that we're looking at skills like data analysis, marketing automation, UX design, video production and editing? What about coding and development, as well as content editing and writing? These are some of the top skills that companies are looking for in digital marketing in 2019 and 2020. So the trend that I'm seeing is an increased demand for specialists. That's happening a mix of in-house, if you have the budget and headcount, as well as agencies, and even freelancers. We've seen a huge rise in the gig economy, and if you're an amazing specialist, you actually can have an amazing career just zeroing in on that specialty, as well as an investment in training and upskilling. So we often see with startups, we tend to hire young, fresh out of college. Well, we're training those people and shaping them into those specialists, as well as what I mentioned, that strong leadership. You need the CMO or the head of marketing, whatever it's called at your company, to steer that ship, to be accountable for that performance, to drive that future planning, as well as that team culture. Because if you are losing employees left and right, guess what? You're actually not going to perform at the level you need to. So the second trend that I want to talk to you about is around investing in a strong customer-centric brand. So we talked a lot about how marketers are being increasingly held for revenue generation. So there's always this push-pull, this tug of war. Should we invest in our brand, or should we invest in performance marketing tactics? I'm of the school you need to invest in a mix of both, but I'm also of the school that you need to start with a strong brand. This is your foundation. Your brand is your identity, especially as a startup. How are people going to know who you are, what you stand for? You need to have a brand to give people a reason to care. You need to highlight your purpose and values with your brand. You need to tell your story. You want an investor to realize your mission, your why, your problem that you're solving. You can do all of this through your brand building. And actually, your brand also increases value to your products and services. So we often think about brand as this fluffy thing, right? But actually, last year in 2019, high-profile CFOs, so Chief Financial Officers, from Old Navy, Under Armour, Adidas, and Booking Holdings, which is the parent company of Booking.com, Priceline.com, Kayak, they actually went on record to say they overly invested in performance marketing to the detriment of their brand value. So especially in the US for retail and e-commerce, direct-to-consumer brands, we're seeing this trend where we have to meet these short-term targets, and we're just dumping all of this money in kind of performance marketing, but we're overly discounting, we're overly trying to chase that sale. And it's really powerful when a CFO goes on record and says that doing that means that people actually thought their products and services were worth less. And Old Navy specifically, which is an American clothing retailer, they actually pivoted to refocus on brand and still leverage performance marketing. They had the best holiday sales revenue they've had in a long time because they actually did that in a more strategic way. I want to share some examples of what consumers are expecting from brands, because we know that there's a push between standing for your brand and driving performance, but we also have to say, well, what do consumers actually want from brands now as we're building those strong brands? And one of the biggest trends is that purpose-driven companies grow 3 times faster on average than their competitors. And I have an example here of Seventh Generation. They are an American household products company. They sell cleaning products for your house, among other things. And their whole mission is they believe in a 7th generation. So imagine 7 generations from now, that's actually who they are. They're building their future around. They want to make eco-friendly products. They want to stand for, reducing some of the issues we're having with the climate crisis. And if you want to see how they actually bring this mission to life, go on their website. They explain it in the most simple but incredibly effective way. And they also bring this to life through campaigns. So they actually went on a climate strike. It was #ClimateStrike. They closed their entire office for 1 week, and they donated all of their ad space, so TV, radio, billboards, social media, online ads, to educational content about the climate crisis and what we all can do to help, to get involved. Not a single sales message about their business. The second lesson I want to share is 90% of millennials prefer real and organic brands over perfect and packaged. And I had the amazing honor when I was in the Netherlands to meet one of the co-founders of Yanni, which is a feminine care brand. So guys, they make tampons and pads, these feminine care products. And the co-founder discovered the need for kind of healthier, kind of more sustainable feminine care products when she was going through cervical cancer. A crazy, horrific, tough time in her life, and her doctor actually educated her that this is not a regulated industry. There's actually super toxic things that go into tampons and pads, which is pretty horrifying when you think about that. It was so hard for her to find this in the Netherlands that they made the company. Welcome to the beauty of entrepreneurs and startups, right? We love this. We find this problem in the market. But what they did is they actually have a very bold tone of voice. They put out billboards in the Netherlands that say, chemicals are not for pussies. I mean, really bold, really cheeky, probably polarizing to some, but they back it up with tons of educational content, and they do it in a very real, very straightforward way. They're not shaming people, they're not kind of bullying you if you want to make other choices, but they're incredibly real and raw about who they are and what they do. Another key takeaway is 70% of millennials will choose inclusive and diverse brands over those that are not. So this is really important to think about the issues that you stand for, your employee base, the people that you feature on your websites, your social ads, and also talking about the diverse and inclusive values that you have. A great example of this comes from Airbnb. Airbnb has been very transparent about the fact that they have experienced discrimination on their platform. And they ran this last-minute Super Bowl campaign in response to President Trump's travel ban on 7 Muslim-majority nations. So this happened in America, happened literally a week before the Super Bowl. Airbnb saw this as an opportunity to address the issues they've been having on their platform, talk about how they're fixing it, but also like put that stamp in the ground and say, we accept everyone. They did this last-minute like run-and-gun video shoot starring their employees, reinforced that mission, and also talked about that they're going to provide free housing to 100,000 people in need over 5 years. It hit incredibly well. It was the most tweeted ad during the Super Bowl, and it earned 87 million impressions and a lot of goodwill among Airbnb's millennial and Gen Z audience. Okay, so we've talked a lot about diversity, inclusion, standing for something, giving back, but what about what people actually care about day to day from brands? Research shows that consumers just want brands to be honest, funny, helpful. I mean, it's the old kind of things that we take for granted, actually responding to someone, helping them, providing amazing customer service and amazing customer experience. And a startup that is now definitely not a startup, Casper, they do an exceptional job with this. They own the conversation around sleep. If you go on their Twitter account, they tweet things like, a mattress is really just a foam sandwich. Think about it. They're owning this conversation, and guess what they're not doing? They're not actually linking to buy a product. They're investing in their brand and really that expertise around sleep. They've also done fun things on social media where they did late night snap hacks. So if you've ever been feeling peer pressured to go out drinking or partying with your friends and you don't want to, you can actually go to this website where you hold your phone in front of the screen, and it can make it look like you're out having drinks, you're out at the club, you know how it is, but you're actually at home in bed binge watching Netflix. So, AKA living the dream. So they do these fun customer-centric campaigns, and they also jump on trends. So they realized when they were an earlier stage startup that because the mattress comes to you in the mail in a box, people were making unboxing videos of getting their mattress. Like, who does that? But you know why they did it? A trend emerged where the mattress makes this sigh sound when you open it. So it was really great to amplify that user-generated content as an early stage startup, but then as they grew, they could actually work with influencers to further amplify that. And then the third trend I want to share is selling without the hard sell. So I've mentioned to you, I really believe in building your brand, but I also really believe that we're accountable for revenue and we also need to sell. So how do we do that in a more effective way? Well, we have to start first with thinking about consumers' attitudes towards advertising. Do people hate ads? Yes and no. So if you look at the reasons why people invest in ad blocking software, it's things like too many ads, annoying or irrelevant ads, or intrusive ads, so feeling a little bit like Big Brother is watching you. But research from HubSpot shows that 83% of people say that while they want to filter out obnoxious ads, they actually also believe some ads can be useful. And think about it, we've probably all purchased something from an ad. I actually purchased my internet provider, which is 3 Broadband, when they were originally a startup called Relish, now they're acquired by 3 in the UK. I actually saw them on a tube ad, and I was just moving to London, and you could just literally buy the internet and plug it into the wall. And I was like, wait, I don't need an appointment. I don't need all these complicated things. I just read it on a tube ad, went and researched them, said, yep, I'm buying this from an ad. So it still happens. But what do we have to do? Stop spamming people. Make your ads better. This is a picture of the Alexandra Barcelona Hotel. It's a Hilton hotel. I stayed there in Barcelona. I discovered the hotel on TripAdvisor, who I used to work for. I check into the hotel. I want to post some pictures on Facebook, as you do. I started getting ads on Facebook to book this hotel while I was staying at the hotel. Like, we have to figure out a better way to make our ads more relevant. And I think the more you can think about that user experience when you're thinking about your ads, the more effective you're going to be. You also can think about how you make your ads more interesting. I've got a very cheeky example for you. So Groupon was selling this product called a banana bunker. What is a banana bunker? It is a plastic protective case for your banana. And because of the shape of it, they knew people were going to really go crazy with this. So they ran this as a boosted post on Facebook. And they just doubled down on responding to customers. They knew people were going to be cheeky and really have a field day with this. So Holly said, what if my banana is too big? And Groupon responded, let's not exaggerate, Holly. They sold out of this product in record time because they had fun with it and they made their ads super interesting. So you might be saying, well, Jessica, I don't have an interesting product. What you really can focus on then is think about thought leadership. Think about adding value with your ads. HubSpot actually discovered that 38% of their blog posts, their traffic to their site, was coming from old blog posts, and they named this compounding blog posts. So HubSpot they make marketing and CRM software. They invest in so much thought leadership to help marketers and salespeople be better at their jobs, and they're pulling in so many people to their website through this blog traffic, ranking organically in Google, but also leveraging demand gen activities to also pull people in. Also, what about working with influencers or thought leaders? You know, I get asked to be on a lot of webinars for brands in the MarTech space. Guess who loves to share those interviews online? Me. I'm very shy and humble, I guess. But this is a great way, especially if you're a startup and you want to get visibility. A lot of us in this industry love to participate, love to share our insights, and we'll share that to our audience who cares about marketing technology software or cares about the topic of marketing. And then maybe as you have more budget, working with influencers on a paid level can also be such a great tactic. I used to run marketing for a wearable tech startup. It was one of those wearable tech products where you couldn't really search. It wouldn't be something you would inherently know you wanted. So we actually leveraged influencers by just giving them the product for free or paying them to actually talk to people about this very bespoke in our niche, and it worked so well. You also should think about embracing personalization. So Spotify has done such a brilliant job of this. They actually scrape and mine their user data. They ran this campaign. They did billboards that said, "Dear person who played Sorry 42 times on Valentine's Day, what did you do?" So think about this. When you have a Spotify premium account, like, you don't have to have ads. So if you're like in that level of needing to binge listen, you don't want ads interrupting that moment in your life. But then they back it up with a personalized user experience. I discover so much music through Spotify with personalized playlists, and they send you an end-of-year recap on all of your listening trends. Mine is a very scary and interesting place, for the record. The next trend I wanted to share is the rise of the business concierge. I actually think more and more companies should think about how can you be a concierge for your customers? How can you actually help them? Because you know how many times I've like tagged brands like Nike in a tweet or in like an Instagram story where I'm like, hey guys, I need a new pair of running shoes. What do you recommend? And I tag some brands. None of them ever respond. You are missing a direct-to-consumer sales opportunity to add value and say, hey, Jessica, we have these great waterproof shoes. You might like this when you're stuck in London running in the rain. I would buy those shoes. So Hilton hotels have concierges. They actually came up with a Twitter account where they took the idea of a hotel concierge, whether you're staying in Boston or London, maybe you're coming to Riga, they'll give you personalized recommendations. REI, which is an American brand that sells outdoor apparel, they also did this around Christmas time. They had people send them a little bit of detail about the person they were buying for, and then they actually made personalized videos suggesting what they could buy. Now, granted, video is a lot more investment. You don't need to do this on video, but it's a great idea. And then the last point I want to make is about owning the customer feedback loop. So we as marketers, we have all been there. Too often, somebody is pointing the finger at marketing saying, Jessica, you're not delivering. But actually, am I not delivering? Or is there a problem with our product, a problem with our pricing, a problem with our customer service? Or are the leads I'm generating to sales not converting? The more we can own that customer feedback loop, the more we can actually come together as a business and really figure out what's wrong and how to pivot. And the more we as marketers can own this, the more we're going to future-proof and protect our roles. But you also could identify new opportunities just by doing that. So Zappos is an e-commerce brand in the US. They sell shoes. A customer service rep fielded a call from a woman. Her son has autism. And it's a trigger for him. He can't tie his shoes. And as he was getting bigger, they couldn't find Velcro shoes that fit his feet. So the customer service rep said, wow, like I was really inspired by this woman's story, took this to his team, and other reps said, hey, I've been getting other questions from other customers as well in a similar vein. So they made an entire shoe and clothing line for people with disabilities. How powerful is that? So not only is it a great customer experience, but it's also a new revenue stream. So to summarize, the role of marketing is changing. We have to embrace it. Invest in specialists, training and upskilling, as well as your team culture. Strong brands outperform the market. Invest in a customer-centric brand. Embrace the accountability to drive ROI and revenue. This is where we're all at. This is not going to change. But I really advocate in a test, learn, optimize, and repeat strategy. So startups are great because they're so agile and they can just keep testing and pivoting and see what works. And then last but not least, own that customer feedback loop. Be that catalyst for change. You might even discover new wins along the way. Thank you so much.
Go.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Come down. All right. I'll take the clicker.